Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and welcome to my scrapbook table where today we are celebrating Ginger's Corner. She has gotten to the 5,000 subscriber milestone. That is amazing. This layout is also for my March planner pages. So here's the planner from my friend and Creative Memories consultant, Heidi. There's the calendar page for March, and here are the pages that I'm going to decorate. I am using some old stash from One Canoe 2 because Ginger wanted us to use scraps. Some of these papers are scraps. Two of them are fuller sheets, 6x8s. I also had these strips out, but I didn't use those. I'm going to use this punch from Creative Memories, and I thought of using that camera one, but then I forgot about it. So that'll be for another day. I have lots of ephemera, mainly from cut apart cards. And so I knew I wanted to create some layers, scalloped layers with this punch. So I took some of these partial sheets of the One Canoe 2 paper. This was the Willow collection. And I'm just punching the edges. And then once I have that done, I pull over my trimmer, cut that off. And then I can create another one if I need to. I ended up doing 3 green ones, but I only used 2. So there they're all cut. And now I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with these other papers. Some were 6x8s that I cut in half or kind of in half, but then there are some other scraps there to the left as well. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do here. So I knew I wanted to layer these up. Other than that, I was kind of at a loss. And maybe that's where the problem was, that I didn't have enough of a plan I should have maybe planned better before I started cutting. But it turned out fine. So I layer those up, and I have these pieces that I think I'll layer in some way on the far right and the far left. But that just looked like a bridge to me, and that wasn't what I wanted. It did kind of end up like that anyway, but I filled in enough of the space that I don't feel like it looks like so much like a bridge anymore. So these are 1.5 inches, and I had to piece them together because they're only 8 inches high, and I believe my planner is 9.5. Let me get my ruler. The planner page is actually 10. So I had to piece those strips together, but you can't tell. It looks just fine like that. So I trim off those pieces, and there we go. And now you'll see in a second here that I actually put one down vertically, and how I wish I had stuck with that idea. I don't know where my brain was. I guess I was so fixated on this horizontal scallop thing that I had envisioned that I didn't even think about that. But I wish I had. I wish I had done my scallops going along the page vertically. But I didn't. And now they're glued down and they're staying where they are. So I went ahead and layered the scallops. I did the dark green on the bottom, the light green in the middle, and then that gorgeous multicolor stripe on the top. I love multicolor stripe papers. That's one of my favorite things to have in my stash. That and wood grain. So I tucked these under the edges there. And yes, it still looks like a bridge, but all of that gets filled in. And now I have taken some of these strips of the other papers and just matted 2 or 3 photos at a time. I used a green that has some gold script on it, and I used a pink paper that has some butterflies and that mustard color of a leaf on them. You don't really see what they are when they're just showing out a tiny bit behind the photographs. So March for us was a little odd. The beginning of March, well, at the end of February, my husband got sick, and he had what we think was RSV and the flu. My son and his wife were home for their wedding reception that we had here because they got married in Memphis. And so our church friends here and some of Brian's coworkers, because he works for a company here in Cleveland, but he works remotely from Memphis. So they couldn't be part of that celebration. So we had something here for them. And some of the pictures are from that. That was in early March. But my husband was sick for most of the month of March. In fact, one of the first things that he was able to do was on Good Friday. He and I drove to a nearby town and went to a big thrift store someone had told us about and a little cafe. So there wasn't a lot of activity happening at our house in March simply because Dan was just trying to work as much as he could and rest when he wasn't working. I did get to go to a 2-day scrapbooking crop in a nearby town, and I got 14 pages done, so I was really happy with that. So now I'm doing some journaling, basically telling you what I just said in the video. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to add to finish off this page because I want to fill in most of those white gaps. And I thought these were attached, and then I went to move something and realized they were not. So now I'm going to glue these down. Some of these are of layouts that I created this month. Some are the decor and the wedding cake and some guests at the reception. There was a full moon that I got some pictures of, some flowers for Easter that Dan gave me. And one thing that I figured out in March was how to create a thumbnail image for like a YouTube hop on Canva. So I put a picture of that on here as well. And there's also, no, I think that's it. That's the pictures on here. So I decided once I finished this journaling and have that glued down, I went back to the sticker pages and some of the cut aparts that came with this small collection that I bought when Tuesday Morning was still here. This is one of the first things I bought at Tuesday Morning. And at first that bird was going to go in the lower left. And then I said, no, I want him up at the top. And I have this little, it looks like a postage stamp it has on the edges. So I put that and a heart sticker there to fill in that gap. Another heart is going to go on the right to on the left to balance that out. And I have that large floral die cut that is going to go there as well. I wish I had a smaller version for the left-hand page, but I do not. And there's another postage stamp type image that I put there. And last, you'll see in a moment, I think about these word stickers, but they just weren't quite right. But I have a little frame and I cut off part of it and I tuck it beneath the journaling journaling card. And while that doesn't completely fill that white space, it makes me feel better about that white space. There are some still shots coming up in a moment. Thanks for joining me. If you're interested in the planner, please see your Creative Memories consultant or Heidi, and I'll have a link below for her. And if you don't already follow Ginger, I will have a link to her Facebook page and her YouTube channel. Have a great day. Bye.